Hello everyone, this is Eugene Fine speaking. Now, welcome to the final one for today as I look into the first episodes of anime of winter 2017. This particular one was one of those that kinda got my attention because of the unique art style used in the poster. Plus, I was curious as to what the freaking synopsis meant. Well, I guess we'll find out soon enough. Here's Dio Media's entry, Fuuka. Let's go! Basically, what I gathered from the synopsis of this anime is that it is going to involve a love triangle between a love that started from electronics and one that didn't. And I was like, what the heck does that mean? But after watching the first episode, I kind of get the general picture. This love triangle is going to involve the characters Haruna Yu, Akitsuki Fuuka, and Hinashi Koyuki. Now, just remember that Koyuki wasn't really a part of the first episode, so I know almost nothing about her. All I know is that she follows the same old stereotypical trope of being Yu's childhood friend. In fact, this whole episode feels like it's just a bunch of popular anime cliches all crammed into a single sitting. And let's start off with the biggest culprit of all, shall we? The motherfucking introduction. Here, we are introduced to Yu, who is busy with his phone on Twitter apparently, as he crosses the street. And out from the sidelines comes Fuuka running in. And from here on, I can pretty much just reenact what on earth was going through my mind. It went something like, okay moron, move out of the goddamn way, she's gonna crash. Okay then, never mind. Oh shit. Panties exposed. Oh shit, she saw him. Come on dude, just explain the situation. Well, for fuck's sake. Wow, that phone sure smashed real loud, didn't it? Okay then, looks like he just got bitch slapped. Okay, seriously. What? This scene alone literally just dropped my anticipation level for this anime real down low. And I was like, you better have something to redeem yourself, anime. More cliches came with Yu's family. Yu has 3 sisters, and all 4 of them, as you expected, are living alone in the house while the parents are off to America for some reason. Moving on to the next day, since it's the start of the semester, I was like, yep, Fuuka's going to be transferring to his class, right? Yep, I'm sure of it, But in fact, it turned out to be the other way around, with Yu transferring to Fuuka's class. Still the same thing nonetheless. By the way, let me just talk about Haruna Yu at this point, just because he is the main character. It's only the first episode, but I already know that I'm really not going to like this character. As the main protagonist type character, Yu is shy, like too shy to the point where I'm actually leaning on Fuuka's side, just because she is the more interesting character. But I'll get to her later. And you remember that intro scene? You'd think that after that he would have learned his lesson, right? Well, apparently not. He meets Fuuka for the second time on the school rooftop, and all I was saying at that time was, yo, put down the goddamn phone. Are you trying to get your ass whooped again? And then he presses the camera capture button, and I was like, fucking place palm to the max, bro. What the actual, what? Seriously, it was like, this first episode was trying its damnness to make me hate this anime, and it sure was really effective, I can tell you that. But fortunately though, there was some relief to be had. By the halfway point of the episode, the two appeared to have warmed up to each other, and even going as far as to watch a movie together, as something one would call a date. Yoo-hoo! And the best part of course came at the very end, with Fuuka showing no embarrassment at all when discussing the concept of her and Yu being a couple. And at that point, I was like, wow, that was totally unexpected. So immediately, Fuuka became the more interesting character, and she literally was the glimmer of hope that I needed to convince me that there may be something more to this anime. The animation is done by Dio Media, which I have mentioned before that I have not watched a lot of their anime. But this anime, while I didn't find anything spectacular about the animation, I love the art style of it. It was really vivid, and that really helps to capture my focus and enjoy the anime more. So let's just say that this first episode was a huge mixed bag of emotions for me. The first half of it was just absolutely absolutely appalling, and I was literally thinking on giving up on this anime. But then it got better in the second half, and it sure redeemed itself more than I expected it to. But if you really sum it all up, they all just balance out in the end. In all honesty, this first episode felt rather boring to me because hardly anything was going on in it. Also, some scenes such as the wait by the Hachiko statue felt like blatant padding just to stretch out the time. And if it wasn't for the synopsis, I would not have the slightest clue of what this anime was trying to do. It is still an anime that I will keep an eye out and hope that everything turns out fine. But like I said at the start, I'm really not looking forward to this anime as much as I did anymore. I just checked and found that the second episode has been aired as well. Whoops. But regardless, I'm keeping it fair and only look at the first episode. Plus, I've seen several others from this season that have left a better impression in my opinion just from the first episode. I definitely won't be dropping this anime, but I don't know how willingly I will choose this anime out from so many from this season. Now, I think I've said just about everything, so let's get to the recommendation, shall we? Since the synopsis does say that this anime will follow a love triangle, I've made that my primary method of selecting the recommendations. Again, there are two here. The first recommendation is on the anime Nisekoi. Now, the story of Nisekoi isn't anything special. In fact, if we're talking about stereotypical cliches in anime, I would say that Nisekoi is one of the biggest culprits out there because almost any anime cliche that you could find out there can be found in Nisekoi. It's pretty much just an anime with full of anime cliches, and it's not even subtle about it too. But the thing is that this anime is made by Shaft Studios, and Shaft Studios, as I've said before, has this way of making the art style of the anime look really unique. And so even a generic type of anime like Nisekoi maybe, it becomes interesting to watch. And also, since Shaft Studio also has a lot of dialogue heavy scenes and stuff, it just kind of makes the characters more interesting and more fleshed out in my opinion. And as a harem anime, it is one of the best out there. But just saying, Onodera is the best girl. Nah, just kidding. I mean, you guys are free to think which girl is the best girl and stuff. But for me personally, it's really easy. Onodera Kosaki is my favorite character. Well, in any case, moving on from that though, my second recommendation would be on Nagi No Asukara. And it is done by PA Works. PA Works, I haven't watched a lot by PA Works, which is kind of upsetting to be honest, because PA Works has been consistently impressing the heck out of me with all the anime that they've made. Plus, the animation that they make is just top notch, especially here in Nagi No Asukara. It is probably one of the most beautifully animated anime I have ever seen, with all the unique textures of the water and the character designs. I don't know how the heck they do it, but yeah, it's because of that. Even though it isn't my favorite anime, but every time I hear the name Nagi No Asukara, I kind of get shivers for some reason, just because of how beautiful it looks. It just, I just love how it is. And also, it does involve a love triangle as well. In fact, multiple love triangles. And the love triangles in this anime are really interesting to watch. And just, especially in the first half of the anime, that impressed the heck out of me. And for a love triangle anime, it's probably one of my favorites. So I highly recommend you guys to check this anime out. So between these two anime, I hope you guys find something that you may like. If you guys have watched both of these anime, well, I hope you guys have the skill to find something new in the future. And that's all I have to say about the first episode of Fuuka. And finally, that's gonna be all for today at least. And even though it's technically the next day already. And so more videos will be coming out about the winter 2017 season, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what else is coming out and what to expect. If something else can surprise me, that would be great. And so thank you guys so much for watching this video, and do stay tuned to the next time of whatever I make. Until next time, bye!